To begin this final session and highlight the talent and dedication of the new generations of researchers, we start with the presentation of the Students' Awards. We now give the floor to Dr. Adriana Radulovic from GEO1 and member of the academic committee of this conference. Please, Adriana, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. What an incredible few days we had at Living Data 2025. It's not over yet, although we've seen inspiring talks and creative ideas and bold visions for the future of biodiversity science. Now we have a very special moment. It is time to celebrate the next generation of biodiversity researchers, and these are the students who are pushing boundaries, asking bold questions, and shaping the future of our field. The Best Student Presentation Awards recognize students who not only delivered outstanding research, but who also communicated it with clarity, confidence, and passion. To every student who presented at Living Data 2025, thank you for your energy, your passion, your curiosity, and your courage to come here and present your research, your work. You might have been jet-lagged, or you might have given the talk in a different language than your own language, or you might have given the talk in front of senior researchers and you might have been nervous. Congratulations for being here. You are the future of open, collaborative biodiversity science. And you are the engine driving transformation through unified information in our society. And this is very much needed now more than ever before in the history of the human species. To our judges, thank you so much for your effort. It is truly appreciated. To our sponsors for this year's awards, thank you for your support. And thanks to you, there is a group of students here today that will have opportunities that maybe otherwise would not be possible to them. Thank you, our sponsors. And if I can add to this, please continue supporting students at the future conferences. We really depend on your awards and your support. Before I present the students and their awards, I would like to invite actually the sponsors on the stage so you can see them, and then they will give the award to students. Also, sponsors and students, please stay on the stage so the photographer can take a photo with all of you. And after the closing ceremony, please go to that booth in the corner to take additional photos with your sponsors. So, I will start with the sponsors for the best talk, which is Pensoft. Please. I hope you all had the time to go and visit their beautiful booth. Pensoft is very well known in our world. Thank you for supporting student presentations at various biodiversity conferences in the past and in the future. There is another best talk for a study that used molecular data, and this is awarded by Genome, the journal Genome from Canada. They are not here, but I will give that award. We have special awards from Esri, but unfortunately nobody from Esri could be here. And then for best posters, we have Bias Plurinational. Thank you for supporting students. And then we have ProCalculo. Please come on the stage. And we also have a special award from Microsoft, but they could not be here. So I will be giving a lot of awards on behalf of somebody else. Let's start with posters. It was a very difficult decision to make for posters because we had very similar scores. So the decision was to give 3 best poster awards. So we don't have 1, 2, 3, we have best posters. 3 of them. Now, the best poster, sponsored by Bias Plurinacional, goes to Sergio Bolivar Santa Maria with a presentation, The Role of Protected Areas in Conserving Lowland, Grassland, and Savanna Ecosystems in Latin America. But I do not see Sergio, so somebody else, a colleague that can take the certificate. If not, the certificate will be sent to him. Okay, his colleague. This is from Bias Plurinacional. Thank you. Yeah, and please remain here. Okay, best poster, sponsored by Procalculo, goes to Paula Uzcategui Leon. Congratulations, Paula. Her presentation was titled Assessing Post-Fire Mortality of Paramo Giant Rosette Plants Using Artificial Intelligence on High-Resolution Drone Imagery. And now the best poster sponsored by Microsoft goes to Pablo Andrés Gil Leguizamon. Sorry for butchering your name maybe. Pablo Andrés Leguizamon. Going once, going twice. Pablo Andrés, you have an award from Microsoft. Congratulations. For a presentation, for a poster titled Datos Geográficos de la Flora Eudicotyledonea Leñosa de los Andes del Norte y Centro, Sesgos y Riqueza. Okay, now we are moving to the best talks. The best talk overall, sponsored by Pensoft, goes to Melisande Teng with a presentation titled A Machine Learning Approach to Species Distribution Modeling Using Remote Sensing and Citizen Science Data. Melisande might be on a plane back to Quebec, but somebody else will take the award from Pensoft. Now, best talk for a study using molecular data, sponsored by the journal Genome, goes to Verle van Winden for her talk Phylofun, Spatial Phylogenetics of Fungi in Norway for Biodiversity Management. Congratulations, Verle. I see most of our students are not, you are representing Verle. Okay, this is your award, well, her award. Yeah, her award. Thank you so much. And now we have some special awards from Esri. We have 3 of them. The first one will go to Christoph Brabant, Mapping Threats to the World's Freshwater Biodiversity. Christoph. This is me to give you. Congratulations once again. The second Esri Award goes to Charlotte Rose Rush, UK BioPrep, an R package to support reproducible preparation of environmental data for biodiversity modeling in the UK. Charlotte Rose. I see she's not here. Congratulations anyway. And the last award, sponsored by ESRI, goes to Marta Alfeus, a recognition and completeness metrics from iNaturalist and GBIF can inform future citizen science, a case study on Namibian arthropods. Marta Alfeus. Congratulations once again. This is your award. Thank you so much for your contribution to biodiversity science. Thank you to our sponsors. Please enjoy the last few moments of this amazing conference. I hope you all got a chance to network, to come up with new collaborations, new projects, new possibilities of funding, and that you will join future conferences. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Radulovic, and congratulations to all the winning and participating students. So we move forward in our program, but before continue with our program, Luisa Vasquez from Invest in Bogotá, the investment promotion agency for our capital city, will offer a brief recognition to the Humboldt Institute. I was forgetting that.
Thank you, Maria. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Country of Beauty. My name is Luisa Fernanda Vasquez. I'm the manager of the Bogotá Convention Bureau, one of the strategic lines within Invest in Bogotá, the city's investment promotion agency. One of their main goals is to attract this kind of events in our city. And you may ask why. It's because we have a business and is try to amplify all the impact that these events can have, not only in Bogotá, in Colombia, but in the world. So that's why we are here to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the people who are gathered here, to all the people who made this possible. Thank you for choosing Bogotá as a stage for this amazing encounter. And that's why Living Data has taught us during these years that it's all about transforming information into action. And that's what all of you have to do exactly here, to building something more about only ourselves. Thank you for inspiring us to keep growing, to keep believing that we all together can change the world. So I want to invite into the stage to the Humboldt Institute to receive a big and a small appreciation from the city to gather all of you here today. Thank you very much. Que viene con nosotros. Eso estamos.
Ya vamos a hablar, ¿sí? Está bien.
Hello, hello. Yeah. That was very, very touching. So now we move forward in our program by inviting the representatives of the 4 networks and the local host organization who made this event possible. So please join me to the stage. Ward Appletons, Program Manager for OBIS. Joe Miller, Executive Secretary and Director at GBIF. Thierry Ong, Secretary for TADWIC. Alice Hughes and Andrew Gonzalez, co-chairs from GeoBon. And Giselle Didier, Director of Knowledge at the Instituto Humboldt. Okay, so in this panel, we truly want to hear from your insights, reflections, and the epiphanies that these last 4 days have left you. So to trigger this conversation, please take in mind these 3 questions. So what do you take from living data, both personally and institutionally? Today I'm kind of, what is the added value of having the 4 networks in this one conference? And the third one is, what are the main challenges you identify in these days, and where do we need to focus our attention for future work? So what about a 20 minutes conversation, as natural and spontaneous as you can? Imagine you are debriefing, and there's no audience, you are debriefing, you are just talking, you know each other very, very well. And just give us all you have in your minds. So let's start by giving the floor to Giselle, and then whoever wants to take the floor. Anybody needs a mic?
Thank you, Maria Fernanda. For me, it has been an incredible adventure these 4 past days, and I will put it like in a benchmark scenario. Seeing that the problems that we face managing data are shared, my take-home message is that together we can make it better. And this has been, for me, at the Humboldt Institute, a very enlightening conference, because we are doing great from Colombia. And sometimes you have to compare yourself to other people's experiences to value what we have been doing in Colombia and at the Humboldt Institute. So right now I feel proud of the Humboldt Institute, and particularly proud of the people, of the team of the Humboldt Institute that have been working so hard to make this conference possible. So I would like to take a minute to ask for every Humboldt Institute employee to stand up, because you guys deserve a big applause. Please stand up. So I would like to thank your attitude towards difficulties. We were fighting with the pointer, and you were solving all these kind of issues that came up during the conference with a big smile, with a big attitude, and you were changing shifts. You shifted from logistics to be presenters, to be hosts. And that's what we want at the Humboldt Institute. Kind people, genuinely worried and convinced that we can do and we can make a difference by managing data with the high standards and keeping in mind the greater good. We're facing a very difficult time as a planet. Funding is going short, so we have to make that extra effort to make things happen. So my take-home message is, I'm very proud of you guys, and all of you guys as well. It's not only a national thing, because I think we are making the difference, strengthening data management processes, and in general, all the data lifecycle process. So that would be my contribution to this panel.
Thank you so much, Giselle. I mean, who wants to be next?
Okay, I'll leap next. I come away from this conference deeply encouraged by what we saw, what we shared. This was kind of an experiment. This has never been done before. Each organization, each of these networks has a superpower. And they've spent a decade or more working on that superpower. But something like the Avengers, if you put the superpowers together, you get this super team. And I was really not only encouraged by the progress we've made as a community in terms of understanding the gaps, the needs in terms of data, but also understanding the needs in terms of knowledge systems. How do we support our communities? How do we understand the needs locally and translating that knowledge more broadly to support decisions without losing that context, without losing that meaning? In a way, of course, the data and the monitoring science is about detecting and understanding change in nature, but really it's absolutely about understanding social change. How does that information get embedded in communities and organizations who are trying to support that change? And it's not something we can do once. We have to repeat this over and over and over again. Real social and ecological change takes decades. And so that is why, yes, I'm super preoccupied about the financial sustainability of these networks, but we're definitely stronger together. And by committing to collaboration and working as a community, I think we are stronger. And that's really one of the first messages that I take away from this conference.
So we started off by hearing about problems, about gaps. And over the last 4 days, we've heard literally 1,000 takes on solutions. I think if we look from the individual level to the network level, everyone here has come away with new collaborations, new ideas, new inspiration, new motivation. Meetings like these bring people together. Meetings like these forge those links. And if we're going to tackle the really challenging problems around the world, we need the innovation and the connectivity that comes from the energy, the knowledge, the inspiration of the ideas that we have had over the past week. So I hope that unlike so many conferences, you don't just go away back to your desks. You go away and you take the ideas with you and make them into something that actually goes somewhere. That is how we will move forward. And what I've seen over this week, when actually for one of the first conferences I think most of us have been to, when you could quite happily be in almost any room because there are things that engage and inspire all of us. So I encourage all of you, as you go home, think about what you're taking away and what you will do with it, because that is how we will change things, and that is what will give us the solutions we need to fix the problems we've been discussing over not just this week, but over decades, and that will take these kinds of partnerships to fix.
Thank you, Alice. Okay, so institutionally, this has been a great opportunity to introduce the way that TEDx builds and maintains the data standards that everyone here uses in their research and data mobilization. Similarly, it has been wonderful for us to meet so many people who are interested to engage in the process of building and expanding standards, to learning more about their scientific and community-focused needs. We are looking forward to more collaborations with these groups in the coming months and years. Thank you.
I've been at GBIF now for almost 7 years, and before I came to GBIF, I was a bit of an outsider, and I don't think I would have known maybe more than 1 or 2 people in this room before I joined GBIF. And now I feel like I know everybody. It's really fantastic. This is the most wonderful scientific professional network that I've been involved in. And we really wanted to make sure that as many as staff from the Secretariat, our wonderful regional support teams, who I hadn't met all of them in person, the wonderful dozens of national nodes throughout the world, and our newly formed Indigenous Data Governance Task Force could all come here so they could experience that same networking that I have over time. So I really hope that you've had a chance to interact with the GBIF network, and we're all one big network, right? It's really fantastic. And also, yesterday we signed a joint strategy, and we have with OBIS, and we have one nearly MOC with GeoMon and TEDWIG. We've been working together a long time, and maybe we should make it a bit more formal. And of course, SIB Columbia is a wonderful node here. So I just want you to know, as your personal networks are here being grown and increased, that you have institutional support as well, because we are promising to work with each other to support your work on the ground.
So from OBIS, is this working? Yeah, it's from OBIS. So this has been such a fantastic week. 5 years ago, I would never have believed that this was possible for OBIS. I'm so proud of my colleagues and the whole OBIS community. What we are achieving collectively is truly unbelievable. But let me start with some personal impressions. Through Living Data 2025, I realized that OBIS is now an active, recognized part of a global, diverse and dedicated data community. More than ever, every species counts. More than ever, every dataset matters. Locked information is useless. Biodiversity data belongs on the global stage. Why this one conference with for networks? In our daily work, we regularly connect and collaborate with colleagues from GBIF, TEDWIG, and the GeoMon network, but we rarely see the bigger picture. Living Data brought exactly that, a sense of collaboration, a way to show joint efforts and togetherness. Few of us can travel to 4 conferences a year, one for each network. And here at Living Data, we are able to immerse ourselves in each other's work, to learn by listening, and to connect by sharing. At one point during the conference, I took a step back and realized something powerful. Every participant here in this room is a driving force and gets stronger by connecting to others. In the past decade, we have been removing so many barriers between disciplines, between realms, between fields. Living Data felt like an embodiment of this achievement. We're all working together for the common good now, and when we are united, aligned and connected, we move faster and further. We've also been asked to think about the challenges, and I want to list five. The first challenge, and the elephant in the room, and I think has been mentioned already by Andrew. So I'll get out of that first, is money. There's so much money being poured into support for big data, machine learning, and AI, but there's very little dedicated to support our data communities. We all work hard with minimal resources, and still, amazingly, we manage to deliver, support, and inform. The true cost of data systems is rarely written into projects. It's only added as an afterthought. So sadly, this issue comes across domains and is true in most parts of the world. The second challenge is time. Nobody has time anymore. We're all running at full speed, we're all at full capacity or even beyond, but we need to keep talking to each other. Personal connection is essential, and that's why a conference like Living Data is so important. Fantastic ideas spark from discussions at coffee breaks. Collaborations are born around the plate of arepas, and inspiration flows from conversations in the hallways as much as from our formal sessions. The third challenge I want to highlight is visibility. Too much of our work is still hidden. We need to document our code, our products, our processes. We need to share them openly. And that's the spirit of open science. Sharing so we do not reinvent the wheel, and we learn from each other. And we can benefit from the collectivity. Last night, we met Arthur Chapman at dinner, and he said something that stayed with me. If you do not share, if you keep things to yourself, nobody will know how valuable you are. So let that sink in. The fourth challenge is the recognition. 20 years ago, data management was a niche. Today, data management is recognized as vital for decision making, for sustainable resource management and informed policy making. Our biodiversity data community has earned this place on the global stage. And that's something we can be proud of. but we have to remain active, visible, and relevant to keep our seat on that stage. Finally, the fifth challenge I want to highlight is gender balance. We have come a long way, but we still need to make an effort. Progress is happening and it's visible. Looking around the room, I'm really proud to see a community moving towards true balance, inclusion, and shared purpose. We have one ocean and many voices. This is exactly what makes our science better, our teams more resilient, and our world more fair. So let's keep the energy going, keep the conservation alive. The data may be living, but it is up to us to keep the community alive too. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. This is very inspiring, and what I feel is this is a mega grand super network. So what are you taking back home besides your bags and some brochures? What else?
I also want to, I'm quite fortunate here to be representing GBIF at this stage with three other organizations and the Humboldt Institute. But I also want to recognize that we're just a big network. There's many other networks of organizations here in the audience that could be up on this stage. And I want to just emphasize that all of our networks are important because they all work together in a common cause. So it's not just GBIF, Ovis, TEDWIG, and GeoBond. It's all the smaller networks and larger networks that we really need to work together.
Something I'm taking away with me is hope. Because the people in this room don't just want to sit and play with data, however fun that is. They want to do something with that data. They want to translate it into something that has genuinely global impact. And that is something that we can all be proud of. And again, it's not something we can do alone, but it's something that does ultimately change the world. Academia is really bad at measuring metrics of impact beyond journals, but everyone in this room understands the genuine need globally to have those measures of impact. We've talked about policy. We've literally talked about changing the world. And with all the energy and the ideas and the fact that on a closing ceremony, rather than trying the local rum, you're here in this room, I'm heartened by the fact that all of us can get behind that and do something real to make this data genuinely live and help maintain this world's biodiversity. So thank you, everyone, for what you've done during this conference and for what comes next.
I take home the importance of broadening the audience of these kind of conferences. We are still missing key people in the room, like the end users, talking about like business people, policy-making people, decision-making people, because we are talking between believers. We believe in the importance of data. And even if we had Alice and Maria Cecilia on national television the other day, we have to be more bold at communicating the importance of evidence-based decision-making processes. So I believe we have a pending item in our list, is to communicate to a broader audience.
Yeah, I'd like to pick up on that. I think one of the things that came through in almost every session was the importance of local insight. It's very easy to fly into somewhere, to do global science, to run models, to gather data, but ultimately it's about what does that mean to the people and the livelihoods who we're working with. I have a project working with communities in northern Canada, and they're seeing the fastest change in their livelihoods, in their risks and well-being, and they have reached out to GeoBond and said, help us understand this change. How can we work with our knowledge systems and with your knowledge systems? So it's a marriage and a weaving of knowledge together that's actually going to be critical as we move forward. And ultimately, that's about institutional and behavioral change. Right? That's not really that's not what the data's about. It's the story we tell and the stories we tell with that data. So that's how do we encourage practices that make data open and reusable and meaningful to people. I saw over and over again that We need to co-design things. We need to co-implement things. Sometimes that's slow initially, but then it picks up pace and has much more lasting value. And finally, I think on this engagement topic, we need to tell stories that inspire. Sometimes that's on media, on TV, but that's just, sometimes it's talking to our neighbor on the plane or wherever it is on the bus. Our challenge isn't really about scaling data, it's about scaling understanding. It's about scaling effective change. And I can't think of better networks to achieve that in the coming decade. I'm incredibly proud to represent GeoBond's 3,500 members in 154 countries, working with a nimble and hardworking secretariat and incredible co-chairs for a network that's been around for 15 years. And I feel that we are now at a watershed moment where this network is ready to combine forces with all of these other networks and institutions. I'm really excited about the future, and I think we can all be super excited about that future.
Well, from TADWIC's perspective, I have almost the same things to say. So for us, it has been a great opportunity to meet organizations that are using our standards. And we don't usually meet other institutions. We somehow have coincidental meetings, but that's it. And this week, we have been able to meet with other collaborators and institutions. And it has been wonderful to see the many ways that TADWIC standards are used by these networks. And we are very excited to learn more how we might work with them to improve upon our existing standards and creating new ones. So, and also I would like to say that TADWIC is a volunteer organization, so I encourage you to join us in our efforts because we have so many things to do still. Thanks.
Yeah, I would like to react on TADWIC. I think we don't realize too much, but I think the amount of efforts that TADWIC has been working on creating these standards for so many years now. I mean, I don't know, how many years do we go back? 20, 30 years? 35? So, how many people in the room have already a career of 35 years in this? Probably not a lot. So, this work has been going on for so long, but has been so critical because it is the standard language that we all need and all use. Without these standards, we would not have been able to pull all these data together and make them interoperable and make these great products. So, I mean, this is, this as a volunteer organization, I really believe, I mean, these are like the silent workers, but the ones that makes the things move. So I think we really need to stress and really start, I mean, recognizing and emphasizing that a lot more. Another takeaway is I mean, being part of IOC, of UNESCO, and be responsible for that whole value chain from observation to data to capacity development and services and supporting decision making. And together with the Global Ocean Observing System, where we are developing this global ocean biodiversity information system. And I mean, and we have this immense opportunities now with the Global Biodiversity Framework, with the new High Seas Treaty under the UN to protect biodiversity in the high seas. I mean, member states are creating all these frameworks without really realizing how little we know about the biodiversity in the ocean. And there's such an immense challenge for our countries and for us to deliver on that information and to reach the targets that we all want. I mean, protecting 30% of the ocean, while we only have 9% protected and only 1% truly protected. I mean, and they want to reach that in 30 years, by 2030. I mean, there is, when I'm working in my little office in my desk, like I sometimes, and I feel really alone, and I feel the burden on my shoulder, like I have such a responsibility of making this happen and deliver. And then for me, coming to this meeting and see so many people, and seem like, wow, I'm really not alone. Like we are all working towards these goals, and and delivering this information. And I think maybe not everybody always realizes how much impact your work can have on the global stage. But it's, for us at IUC, I mean, we are a very small team, but we really rely on this global effort. And every small piece in that puzzle is super important to connect all the dots and to deliver this global information system. So I'm really moved by seeing everything this week, what is happening, because sometimes you can feel alone in your own little, at your desk, but being in this room with 1,000 people, I think it is an historic event. I don't think it has ever been, it's never happened that we had 1,000 participants talking about biodiversity data ever before. There was Biodiversity Next, which in Amsterdam, it was also a very big conference. I think it was, I looked at the website, it was 700 something participants, so that was very close, but I think this is really an historic event. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, this is an historic event. The timer is off, but we have a few minutes, so is there any final thought? I mean, this is the moment. We are all ears.
I'll say something very briefly. The Kunming to Montreal Global Biodiversity Frameworks Monitoring Assessment was the first real time that the world said, actually, we need data if we're going to make progress towards targets. In the last months, as Ward said, we've just ratified the BBNJ, the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Agreement. We cannot achieve these agreements without data. We cannot achieve these agreements without data that we can use interoperably and analyze sensibly. We will not get this data without partnerships and people like these. So thank you for this step in the journey. And I think we're all looking forward to the next of these types of meetings to see just how far we come in between. And that is on all of you and all of us. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you to all of you. This was a very moving and touching conversation that sets the roadmap for the future. So thank you so much. Okay, so before we move to the final words, we have a very special video to invite you to the next Biodiversity Information Standards 2026 conference that will take place in Oslo. So I guess some people from that week are coming to the stage. So welcome, please.
Fit for use, our standards rise. Sharing knowledge, wiser lies. Biodiversity come alive. Science and society entwined. La 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 la, fa la la. La 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 la, fa la la. From fjord to green moss and trees, data flows with gentle breeze. For people and robots alike, Unite Info takes its hike. Oslo calls as autumn starts, scheduleless talks and open hearts. Trolls bring knowledge from the land, research ready hand in hand. Fit for use, our standards rise. Sharing knowledge, wiser lies. Biodiversity come alive. Science science and society entwined. La 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 la, fa la la. La 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 la, fa la la. Fit for use, our standards rise, sharing knowledge, wise allies. Biodiversity come alive, science and society entwined. La 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 la, la la la. La 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 la, la la la.
I hope that made you enthusiastic to come to Oslo for the TADWIC meeting next year. You might be wondering that there were that many Norwegians here at the meeting, or actually in Norway, but here we are, and we will all be working very hard to be providing an excellent meeting for you next year in Oslo. Looking forward to see you.
So we definitely have to go to Oslo next year. So we have finally reached the closing moment for this brilliant Living Data meeting. For the farewell remarks and official closure, I have the great pleasure of inviting María Cecilia Londoño to the stage.
Okay, so yes, we are in the end of this journey. We have had 4 days full of smiles, a lot of conversations, good coffee, a lot of coffee, and that has really strengthened our connections and relationships, and that was the aim of this conference. We have also encountered with old friends, and we have made new ones, promising new ones, and good contact. We will go back to work, to our daily routines, to our homes, with all this new knowledge and lots of ideas that I really hope become true, just strengthening this big community that is passionate about data and information of biodiversity. Ahora voy a pasar a las gracias. Gracias is a word I guess everyone knows. So, para dar las gracias, voy a invitar a Julio, al profe Julio Meneses. Julio viene de la red de monitoreo comunitario del Corredor de Vida del Cesar, y los panelistas acá hablaron de la importancia de lo local. Ellos son las personas que hacen conservación en sus territorios, a los que realmente les tenemos que agradecer por conservar lo que existe. Entonces, Julio me va a acompañar a dar las gracias. Siéntate acá. Senta. Y ¿puedes poner la próxima? Eso. Entonces, él va a cantar y luego yo doy las gracias, él canta, yo doy las gracias. Y acá está la letra para que todos cantemos. ¿Listo?
Hola, quiero que me ayuden, vamos a ensayar el coro para que nos los aprendamos. Es muy sencillo, escúchenlo y luego lo cantamos todos. ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa, a los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa. Vamos a repetirlo otra vez. ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? Muy bien, eso lo vamos a repetir varias veces.
Listo. Entonces, primero, gracias a los patrocinadores. Fundación Mindero, iNaturalist, QCBS, Plus, Invest Bogotá, Secretaría Distrital de Ambiente, Pensof, Valles Plurinacional, Microsoft ESRI, Procálculo y Genome. Y a muchas personas que dieron donaciones cuando pagaron la inscripción. Con eso logramos apoyar la presencia de más de 50 personas en esta conferencia. Entonces, muchas gracias a ellos.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
Segundas gracias para los comités. Habían 3 comités: académico, comunicaciones y directivo. Voy a dar solo los nombres rápido, sin apellido. Están Eli, David, Joe, Ward, Catherine, Andrew, Adriana, Arturo, Dan, Dimitri, Gail, Javier, Katie, Kit, Stephen, César, Kyle, Lauret, April. Gracias.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
Quiero agradecer también a los plenary speakers, Lidia, Sabina y Rudolf. Gracias.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
Gracias al equipo técnico de comunicaciones efectivas de Medellín que están acá y nos han apoyado todo este proceso.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
A Sincronía Producciones y a todo el personal del hotel que estuvo muy pendiente de atendernos y también de solucionar todos nuestros problemas. Muchas gracias.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
Aquí me voy a demorar un poquito, pero son las gracias al equipo Humboldt que nos acompañó. Tuvimos un grupo de personas que fueron los maestros de ceremonia, los supervisores y control de todo, la transmisión, la traducción y las presentaciones. Y eso estuvo a cargo de María Fernanda, Claudia, Erika, Camilo, Julián, Manuel y César Galvis. Y Erika, ¿ya dije Erika? Sí. Muchas gracias a ese equipo. Espérate y pasemos por los otros de una vez. Hubo otro grupo de personas que estuvieron siempre de arriba abajo, corriendo para aquí y para allá. Karen y Jimena, muchas gracias. Hubieron otro grupo de personas que estuvieron en los salones como voluntarios. Ellos fueron Carolina, Edwin, Marius, Angie, Esteban, Juan Carlos, Michael, Elkin, Noguera y Tenorio, Marius, lo dije 2 veces, María Camila, Elena, Verónica, Efren, Miguel, Ricardo. Ellos fueron. Muchas gracias. También tuvimos a Julio, que nos hizo el transporte de todas las cosas todo el tiempo. Muchas gracias, Julio. Y tuvimos a un grupo exclusivo para video, fotos y prensa y comunicaciones. Ellos son Tatiana, Verónica, Miguel, David, Efren, Luis Alejandro y José. Muchas gracias a todos, perdón solo los nombres, pero creo que vale la pena reconocerlos porque han dedicado esta semana a que todo salga perfecto. Mil gracias.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa? ¿A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa?
Muy bien, quiero agradecer de manera muy personal a César Gutiérrez, que pues me apoyó todos estos casi 2 años que ha dado Lora con el tema de datos vivos. Y César, te quiero dar un regalito aquí personal. Muchas gracias.
¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? ¿A quién se le canta aquí? ¿A quién se le da las gracias? A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa. A los que vienen de afuera o a los dueños de la casa.
Y de último, pero los más importantes, por supuesto, todos ustedes, muchas gracias por estar presentes, por la paciencia con los pequeños problemas técnicos que tuvieron, por darnos toda su alegría, por las muchas felicitaciones que recibimos y mensajes de aliento para continuar con esto. Muchas gracias y espero pues que nos podamos volver a ver muy pronto. Mil gracias, los esperamos de nuevo en Bogotá. Ya para el final vamos a invitar a toda la red de monitoreo comunitario del Corredor de Vida del Cesar, que nos tiene una canción final con un mensaje verdaderamente hermoso.
Muy bien. Mientras los compañeros se van acomodando, vamos a practicar el coro de este himno, de esta red que está iniciando gracias al Instituto Humboldt en el departamento del Cesar. Hay otras redes también que están iniciando en nuestro país. Entonces, este himno salió hace poco, no tiene más de 2 meses que lo compusimos, y el coro dice así. Cuidemos, cuidemos, cuidemos la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Se lo repito. Cuidemos, 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 la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Muy bien, ahora sí todos lo cantamos, a ver. Cuidemos, 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 la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Cuidemos nuestro planeta, que ya no resiste más. La vida se encuentra en riesgo, salvemos la humanidad. Nuestros polos se derriten y la selva ardiendo está. Nos llenamos de basura por saciar la vanidad. Cuidemos, cuidemos, cuidemos la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Pretendiendo la riqueza, nos empobrecemos más. Talamos hoy nuestros bosques para construir ciudad. Contaminamos el aire y el río se empieza a secar. Cuidemos los animales, ya no los matemos más. Cuidemos, cuidemos, cuidemos la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Preocupado el campesino ya se empieza a cuestionar si lo que cosecha hoy, mañana podrá sembrar. Los tiempos no son los mismos, la semilla no es igual. Hay que envenenar la tierra para que produzca más. Cuidemos, cuidemos, cuidemos la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. El corredor de la vida ya se empieza a conectar, la red de monitoreo que se extiende en el Cesar. Sabiendo lo que tenemos, lo podemos preservar. Cuidemos la zapatosa, cuidemos el Perijá. Cuidemos, cuidemos, cuidemos la vida que aquí se nos da. Cuidemos, 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 la tierra lo agradecerá. Muchas gracias. Esa es la canción de cierre, pero nosotros queremos mostrarle un poco de nuestras raíces. Venimos del departamento del Cesar, capital Valledupar, capital mundial del vallenato, y no nos podemos ir sin cantarles un vallenato. ¿Listo? Entonces es una canción de Leandro Díaz, un hombre que nació ciego, pero vio con los ojos del alma. Dice así. Un mediodía que estuve pensando, un mediodía que estuve pensando en la mujer que me hacía soñar. Las aguas claras del río Tocaimo me dieron fuerzas para cantar. Llegó de pronto a mi pensamiento esta bella melodía, y como nada tenía, la aproveché en el momento. Y como nada tenía, me aproveché en el momento. Este paseo es de Leandro Díaz, este paseo es de Leandro Díaz, pero parece de Emilianito. Tiene los versos bien chiquiticos y bajiticos de melodía. Tiene una nota bien recogida que no parece hecho mío. Y era que estaba en el río pensando en Matilde Lina. Y era que estaba en el río pensando en Matilde Lina. El sentimiento se hizo más grande, el sentimiento se hizo más grande que palpitaba mi corazón. El bello canto de los turpiales me acompañaron esta canción, canción del alma, canción mentida que para mí fue sublime. Al recordarte, Matilde, sentí temor por mi vida. Al recordarte, Matilde, sentí temor por mi vida. Muchas gracias.
¿Ya? Sí. Ya no tenemos más música. But I really want to give them a round of applause because these are the people that are on their territories really protecting biodiversity. Para ustedes el aplauso, muchas gracias. Bien, no, ya terminamos. Veo que no se quieren ir. Muchas gracias a todos. De verdad fue increíble compartir estos días con ustedes y vamos a tener una foto acá. Entonces, tienen que venir todos para hacerse acá, lo más largo que se pueda. Vamos a tratar de llenar toda esta área para la foto. Esa es la primera foto. Y luego, escuchen. Sí, so in English, we will have a picture. So I need everyone to come here. We will have a picture with all of us together. Y vamos a tener otra foto después para todas las personas que trabajaron, hicieron parte del Instituto Humboldt alguna vez y los que trabajan ahora en el instituto. Después de esta foto nos vemos allá para tomarnos la foto todos los personas del Humboldt o ex Humboldts.